I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about why I started Advanced Style. My name is Ari Seth Cohen, and I'm 29 years old. I live in New York, and I moved here about 3 years ago from Seattle, Washington. I grew up in San Diego, and my grandmother was really the biggest influence on my life. She was a librarian and studied at Columbia, New York, and her character and elegance and intelligence are really what framed a lot of who I am today. So we spent a lot of time together. We were best friends, and we'd watch old movies and look through her old scrapbooks, and it's really those images of an elegant woman dressed up in hats and gloves and having this like graceful charm about her that really informed a lot of my idea of aesthetics. We also used to thrift store shop and do vintage and sales and antique shows, which was also another big influence on me. For college, I moved to Seattle, Washington, and studied art history. And during that time, I'd communicate with my grandma almost every day. And she'd tell me little anecdotes, and when I needed to feel good, that was the person who I called, and she always had the wisest things to say. And still to this day, there's no other person who, can speak to me that way and make me feel as good. After college, I stayed in Seattle for a while, but I'd go down for summers and help my mom take care of my grandmother. We helped nurse her, and that was a great experience as well. I learned so much from her, all throughout her life. And she was the type of woman who would read a book almost every day, and she was so sharing and giving. And with her passing, I felt the freedom to move to New York. She always wanted me to move to the East Coast because she felt New York was the place to be as far as if I wanted to do something creatively. So I felt that sense of freedom. I didn't have to be close to home anymore. And just before I left, I saw a documentary about a woman named Mimi Waddell, filmed for 10 years. And she started an acting and modeling career at 65. And she was this wonderful, elegant woman with such an idiosyncratic wit and style about her. Everywhere she'd go, people would comment. She'd wear these huge brimmed hats and gloves, but she did it her own way. And it was really about personal style and expression. And she would go up to for interviews and try out for acting parts up to her 90s, and she was just so inspiring to see her have so much fight in her. And she used to say, I met her, she used to say that, you should live a heightened sense of being. She was a dancer, and she said, if you don't dance, you don't lift up from this world. And to me that meant, if you don't create, if you're not a creative person, if you don't enjoy life, your senses aren't heightened. And in order to live a joyful life and really enjoy things, you should be able to express yourself. So Advanced Style for me is really about personal expression, being creative, and being a vital person. I started the blog because I saw a lack of images of older people in newspapers and magazines and street style blogs, and these were the people that inspire me. They have so much to say, and I want to give them a voice, and hopefully in that process I'll allow other people, or maybe even give them permission to express themselves. A lot of people tell me that they don't feel like they can dress up because of certain restrictions, or they're afraid of being creative, or this and that. So hopefully seeing older people being vital and creative and active will inspire, people of all ages to live a creative, joyful life with a heightened sense of being. And moving to New York and just seeing so many people who don't give up. Ilona, my friend, she's 90 years old, and she said from 80 to 90 have been her best years. She's more comfortable than she's ever been. She's more confident. She has more friends. She knows herself. And I think style is a reflection of that attitude of, knowing yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. It's people like her who make what I do possible. And I invite you to be part of this conversation about aging and style and vitality, because advanced style is not only about style, it's about an attitude, it's about a movement of embracing age, of learning from each other, of looking towards history and references to inspire us. And if we don't do that, then we don't have culture. So for me, it's really important to look, forward towards the future, but also back towards some of these amazing people who continue to make things. It seems like when men and women hit a certain age, they become invisible. And for me, they're almost experts at what they do, and they should be looked at for their wisdom and for what they have to share. And they are willing to share. We have to approach them. And so please continue to look at the site. Email me at advancedstyleinfo@gmail.com, and I'm on Twitter, Ari Seth Cohen, because I want to create a movement and a community of people who can learn from each other. And I think it's really important, and I think we have to cherish people older than ourselves and, learn from them. So I hope that we can all learn something from each other, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much.